So right now, we just got out of the theater watching Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and I did not come alone. I actually came along with some of my personal friends. Bruce, if obviously you know who he is, he's been on me with Geek of the Week. If you've been that long watching the channel, you guys are legends. So anyways, we actually have two different point of views when it comes to this movie because I'm actually more the type where basically I pretty much didn't grow up much with this franchise because I'm not the video game expert unlike these guys here, that's why. And honestly, heck, I think you guys deserve this shirt more than I do. So what do we actually think about this film? So when it comes to actually trilogies, they usually say the third one's not the best, but oh my gosh, Sonic the 3 actually defies that because it was actually a blast. We had so much fun with this film, and I actually think that they focus so much more on the actual characters than the human characters because I think they've been doing that issue kind of a bit lately when it comes to that. Like,
Movies involving games, it's usually always focused on human characters.
Yeah, a case in point is like Godzilla 2014, where it was mostly focused on the humans instead of Godzilla. They are, fixing that problem with the recent films, but yeah, finally, much like with the same thing I was begging with Transformers, just focus on the freaking Transformers instead of the humans. Now it's Sonic, it's Knuckles, and it's Tails, and that's how I prefer it to be.
okay, the only thing I gotta say about this film though is that when it comes to complaints, I know that there are some predictability when it comes to this film. I kind of saw something like coming from a mile away, and that can usually be a flaw when it comes to the Sonic films. But then again, this isn't like a work of art. This is more like the have fun films. It's also actually for the video game nerds and all. And I just think that some of the jokes they're kind of catered to kids, but at the same time, there's a lot of jokes in here that I actually had a good time giggling with.
Well, I mean, it's still a kids' film. There's going to be an air of predictability to it. Obviously, there's things that you can't do in a kids' film that you can do with like a PG-13 or R-rated film, but I don't think it's bad. It's kind of like with wrestling. There's predictability in wrestling. That's not always a bad thing. Where a storyline's going to go. The champion is going to take the championship home at WrestleMania. He's going to finish his story. So that's not a bad thing in my eyes. I'm okay with it.
So just from a video game perspective, since you are actually the biggest video game nerd out of the three of us, what would you actually say about you as a Sonic fan watching this film?
And that they all pretty much acted like the characters within the video games, and I could honestly see them doing all the actions that they've done, and it was pretty close to the main source material.
So I'm actually saying that this movie is worth it. What about you?
It's definitely worth it, man. It's the best.
This movie is definitely goated.